Hi everyone, in this video I want to show you how to implement a functionality that allows managing multiple attachments in a Canvas app within the context of one Dataverse record. And what is important, we want to have the same experience as we can have with SharePoint Online. So here I created a simple Canvas app, a gallery and the form that are connected to the SharePoint Online list. And here inside this form, we have attachments control that is part of the form itself. And what can we do here is adding multiple attachments. We can do it at once. And then if we want, we can go back to the existing record and add more attachments to it. Or if needed, we can remove some existing attachments from the record. And our goal is to obtain the same attachments experience for Dataverse table. And I'm gonna show you two ways of how to do it. First option is to utilize Dataverse built-in feature. And to do it, once we'll be creating our Dataverse table, we need to make sure that this enable attachments option is selected. I've already done it for my table. As you can see, enable attachments is selected. And now inside Canvas app, I already created, again, simple Canvas app, but this time these controls gallery and the form are connected to the Dataverse, to the projects table. And now what we need to do is to select form, go to edit fields, hit add field, and here we need to select attachments and hit add. And now our attachments control is ready to go. As simple as that. Now we can add multiple attachments to the Dataverse record. We can save the record and attachments will be stored for this particular record. But before we'll be using this feature, we should take into consideration a few things. First thing is where all of those attachments are being stored. Because when we go to the table, to the columns, we can't find anything like attachments column or something like this. The same story when we go to the forms, when we go to the main form, we will not see attachments control here to be available for us. So the question is where those attachments are stored. To answer this question, we need to go to the tables. And here we need to select all, search for notes or note. And this is a place where our attachments will be stored. As you can see, here we have 3 documents, and indeed inside our note table we also have the same documents. And basically note table is the system table that is utilized by the timeline functionality for model-driven apps. And I'm gonna quickly show you how it works. Here I created a model-driven app, and here I connected our projects table, and I also created table 1 that has this timeline functionality enabled. And now when I create a new item, hit save. With this timeline functionality, I am able to add notes, add comments to each record. So once I hit this note, I can provide the title, some body of the note, as well as I can add attachments. And this is how it works. Once I add some attachment to the record, there will be a node created for each single attachment. Another important point is that when we delete an attachment from the record, so for example, requirements, let's delete it, hit save. The node itself, so now I will go to the projects, and here we have our test record, and you can see that the node itself hasn't been deleted. Only the attachment is removed, but the node remains. So this is another important thing that you need to know. When someone delete the item, node still will be there. And last important thing is security concept. If we want to implement some special kind of security for our solution, and we want to have a full control over the attachments, then probably node table won't be the best option. And basically that's all. We have this option, but we need to think about a couple of things here. And now I'm going to show you another way to get the same SharePoint attachments experience for Dataverse. This time we'll create our own attachments table. So the same situation as before, we have a simple Canvas app, gallery, and the form. This time, this gallery and form are connected to project 2 table. And when we go to this project 2 table properties, you can see that we don't have this enable attachment option selected, and we will leave it as it is. So as I said, we have to create a table for our attachments. So let's do it right now. Table, attachments table, and here we have to select this option, hit save. Okay, and now what we need to do is firstly, we have to create a file column. So we need to select file data type, and we can hit save button. And now it is important to change primary name column. We need to change it from business required to optional, because it won't be required for us. Next, we have to establish a relationship between our attachments table and project 2 table. New relationship, it will be many to one. So many from attachment table and one to project table. Okay, and here what I prefer to change is type of behavior from referential to parental, because then when we delete some record, attachments also will be deleted along with this record. But it is up to you how this behavior will be defined here. And hit done. Okay, now table is ready. Now we can go back to the app, and now we have to add this newly created table to our data sources. attachments table. And next step is to add attachments control into our form, but we won't be able to do it from here. We don't have attachments control because we haven't selected this option for our Dataverse table. The easiest way is to add some random SharePoint list into our app, and then add a form, new form, and connect this list to our form. And now we can simply copy this attachment control and paste it into our form. And the important thing here is that we don't want to paste this attachment control, I don't know, somewhere in the screen. We want to paste it inside the form. So to do it, we need to go to Edit Fields, 3 dots, and add a custom card. And now here we have brand new card, and we can paste this attachment control here. And here we have some errors from previous form, so we can simply delete these errors. And now 30. And width we can copy from here. Okay, and maybe we can change height to 200, for example. Okay, and now we have to add a couple of formulas. Let's start from the onSelect property for gallery. And I will paste a ready to go formula here. And how it works. We have to collect all available attachments for the record. And this is how this formula works. So it collects all attachments. So it filters attachments table and get only those attachments that are related to this particular record that we already selected. And what we need to have display name, value, and GUID number of this particular attachment. Then we can go to the attachment control. And here in items property, we need to use something like this. So we want to display only display name and value from this collection that we established in the onSelect property for gallery. Next is Save button. Here, before we submit our form, we want to get all attachments that will be added to the attachments control. And last is onSuccess property for the form. So here we have quite long formula, so let's go from the start. So firstly, we want to filter and patch all attachments that haven't been added before. And how it works. So we are filtering all attachments collection. And this is the collection that we defined here under Save button. And it simply gets all attachments, all documents from the attachments control. And we want to filter out all attachments from existing attachments collection. And as you remember, we defined this collection here in onSelect property, where for selected record, we're collecting all existing attachments that are already in the attachments table. So going back to the formula, here we have a simple condition that checks whether attachment value resides in the existing attachments collection, which means that these attachments have been already added to the attachments table and now should be skipped. And now we can patch rest of the attachments as a new records. So we are using defaults function. And here for our project to lookup column, we need to provide a last submitted item from our form. And then for the file, we need to provide an object, file name, and value. And here we have a function that is responsible for deleting existing attachments. And the story is very simple. We are filtering existing attachments collection, and we check whether value of the attachment is in the all attachments collection. If not, it means that user simply removed attachment from the attachment control, and then we can also remove this attachment from the attachments table. Here, one thing we need to do is to provide GUID number inside this lookup. At the end, we want to get refreshed list of the attachments, so we filter attachments table by using last submitted record GUID. And basically that's it. So now we can test our approach. Before we'll be testing, we need to do one important thing. We need to select our attachments control, go to the advanced properties, and here we need to change value property from display name to the value. It is extremely important thing. If you can't see name and value property, you have to go to the settings, upcoming features, and here you need to disable Power FX formula bar, as I did it. Then you can close settings, you need to save the app, and then reopen it. And after this, you should see this name and value properties. Once you change it, you can go back to the settings and you can enable this Power FX formula bar. Okay, so now we can test it, this approach. So we don't have any attachments. Let's add a couple of them and hit save. And you can see that now we have 3 attachments. Let's add another one. Save. Yeah, we have 4. When we go to our attachments table, you can see that our attachments are already here. When we remove some attachments and hit save button, these changes also will be reflected.